Hi, this is Brittany Etheridge, and this is my Descrit 1 for Edit 6190. So for our e-learning project, I definitely wanted to focus on something that I can use in my classroom as a teacher. I teach 4th grade math and science, and I wanted this project to be something I could hopefully implement this year, especially since my school has just implemented a one-to-one laptop environment. So this e-learning is really applicable for me where I am right now. So I wanted to focus on science and looking ahead a little ways to our 4th quarter science content, which is forces in motion. Hopefully that will give me enough time to develop and work on this project and then still implement it this year. So kind of looking forward at force in motion and what the students need to know. My kids need to be able to describe the position and motion of an object, and then they need to know how forces act on that object, how it starts moving, stopping moving, friction. Forces can change direction of objects. And then they kind of also need to get into how force and motion can change, how the object size, if we make an object bigger or smaller, it will affect the motion. If we change the amount of force, that will also affect the motion. And some of this kind of presents a challenge for e-learning because a lot of this we've traditionally done hands-on in labs and experiences in the classroom. So finding a way to effectively move this into a virtual learning environment is going to be interesting, and I'm kind of excited to tackle that. And while this certainly won't replace some of the things we'll do in the classroom, it'll be a great alternative and a way for students who maybe are absent to kind of get to experience the same thing. So I think it could be a good project. Then we also need to get into gravity and then simple machines, which we spend a good bit of time there in simple machines. So starting to look towards how is this going to flow? How am I going to set up this e-learning course? I first went kind of to our textbook and what we've done in the past and kind of broke it up into chapters. Okay, motion, then forces, then gravity, then simple machines. But the more I got into it, the more you see how force and motion are really interconnected, and teaching them separately, I'm not sure that's the best thing. So I kind of looked at, okay, let's change things up. So I came up with option 2, which I'm going to start maybe with vocabulary. A little background on my students. My school's about 70 to 73% Hispanic, and we have a high ESOL population. And I teach 2 blocks of math science, and one of my blocks is a special education push-in where I co-teach with a special ed teacher. And one of the strategies that we found really effective for a lot of our students is this pre-teaching vocabulary, kind of setting them up for success. Let's expose them to the vocabulary of the unit and academic vocabulary that they might see on assessments, and really let them see the definitions, explore that first, so that when they encounter it in the content, it's not as foreign and we don't have to stop and go over each word. So maybe with this e-learning course, I set up a vocabulary unit first, and then moving into applying forces. And then we start changing those forces and how they affect motion. Let's look at the changing of size and the amount of force. Then look at gravity and end with simple machines. So right now leaning more towards option 2, but I'm certainly open to any feedback or any ideas anyone else has. And then so finally, some of the other things I want to try to incorporate into this course are animations, interactive content of some sort. I've just started playing around with the Storyline software, and there's a lot to it. I think it can be really powerful. I've just got to learn it and see how I can build this, because I definitely don't want it to just be, here, read this information on a page and answer some questions. I definitely want the students to interact, see the force in motion. I mean, this is such a visual topic that I want them to be able to see that and to get to manipulate it in some way. Do I want to do videos? What kind of videos? Is it something I'm going to be creating? Can I incorporate videos that are already out there? That's one of the questions I have at this point. And then I know I definitely want to have some kind of quiz element there. But at this point, I'm unsure whether I want it to be built into each unit. Do I want just one cumulative, just a few sprinkled here or there? Not quite sure about that at this point. So that's kind of where I am with my forces in motion unit. So thank you so much for listening.